Hello, everybody. Welcome to my MenoMusings. My name is Mary Howard Lepo. I am an integrative nutrition, holistic perimenopause and menopause coach. And today we're going to talk about the AM or the morning routine. So last week I talked about the PM routine. Now we're going to talk about the morning routine. Why is this important? Because when you have a consistent morning routine, it sets you up for the rest of the day. So if you have a good morning routine that works for you, that's not chaotic and everything, then hopefully the rest of your day will go fairly smooth. We can't always guarantee that life won't happen to us. But if you start off with a chaotic morning, chaotic routine, that's going to set you up for chaos for the rest of the day. And we want to try not to do that because, again, vagus nerve, our nervous system, really does impact our overall health. It impacts our hormone health, stress hormones, belly fat, all of those things. So AM routine, a good one that works for you is very important. So I will give the disclaimer, just like I did last week with the PM routine. What I'm going to give you today is what I do most of the time from my morning routine. Everything I do for my morning routine may not be what you need to do for your morning routine. You have to create a routine that works for you, your lifestyle, your circumstances in the now. Okay. So that might not be what you did in college. It might not be what you think you need to do. It's really about what works right now. So let's get into that. So for me, having a normal wake up time is part of my AM routine. So last week I talked about I try to be asleep by 10 o'clock. The reason for that is because I need 7 to 8 hours of sleep in order for my body to function optimally. Some people need a little bit more. Some people might need a little bit less, but not too much less. Okay. So you want a consistent wake up routine. This includes the weekends, and it includes, for the most part, if you're on vacation. Okay. So maybe with about a 45-minute variant in there on the weekend. But so for me, I try to be in bed by 10. I try to wake up. I shouldn't say I try. I normally wake up without an alarm between 5:30 and 5:45 a.m. In other words, I try to get up with the sun or up with the birds, as my grandmother would say. I have my alarm set as a backup for 6:15 because that is the latest I can get up and do the routine that I need to do that's not rushed and get to or off to where I'm going for that day. Okay. So my alarm is set for 6:15 as backup, but I typically am up between 5:30 and 5:45. I like to drink some warm water when I get up because you've been asleep for several hours, you haven't been drinking, you're typically a little bit dehydrated, and that warm water certainly helps. If you don't like water by itself, try to squeeze a little lemon in it. I've got lemon in here, that's why it doesn't look exactly clear. And I especially like warm lemon water as we start to go into the colder months because it just kind of warms up my body from the overnight. So I have warm water. I have a tongue scraper. So I scrape the top of my tongue just to get all the gunk off of there from during the night. I oil pull. So I don't use a mouthwash. I do an oil pull. And I do that for about 15 minutes. I put the oil in my mouth right before I get into the shower because I don't have time to stand around for 15 minutes swishing around oil and not doing anything else. So you're doing, some different things as you're going along. So I do that actually while I'm in the shower. Brush teeth, everything from the night before that I put out the night before. So my morning meds, my morning outfit, my morning products, all that, that's all out that I put out as part of my PM routine from the night before. So I'm not fiddling around trying to find all that stuff. I'm not trying on outfits, seeing what works. I've already done all of that from the night before. So that is what I do in the morning when it comes to my outfits. I also will do Abhyanga, which is an Ayurvedic oil massage. So I put oil on my skin before I get into the shower. So the shower will just make whatever excess is on there run off. but it also doesn't ruin my clothes if I do it after the shower and then get dressed. So I do that prior to shower. I dry brush before I do the oil. So it's just a gentle exfoliation. Um, Morning meds, morning vitamins, if you've got any of those. Um, while I'm getting ready, I'm usually listening to my favorite local talk radio show or catching up on a podcast. It doesn't have to be in silence. You can have whatever you want, kind of going on there. I do a nice shower meditation while I'm in the shower. Saves time. We all have to shower. Meditation is great. And I just set that up as be like, I'm going to rinse away, wash away whatever negative energy is residual from the day or the night before. And I'm going to be clean and free and fresh, as I start this day. So I do that. I exfoliate and actually wash my face while I'm in the shower. And then I've got conditioner on my hair while I'm shaving. So I've got all of those kind of things going on in the same place at the same time. Once you've done all of that, I will also then, as I put my morning products and everything under the sink, I get all of my nighttime products out. So it's already there and ready to go. And I will then put on any makeup if I desire it for that particular day. I don't wear a lot of makeup anyway. It doesn't take me that long. No makeup routine should ever take longer than 10 minutes. After that, probably wearing too much, but that's just me. So just kind of be mindful of that. After that, then it's usually around 7:15ish, 7:15ish. And then I will go and either make breakfast or have a smoothie. Once I've got that going, I will do my spiritual readings. I like to do that in the morning. It just really sets my day for what I've got to do. And then depending on the day, depending on my work schedule for that day, I might do a little bit of yoga or Pilates. It's just like a little bit of a morning short practice, just so I get some movement in the day. And then if things got crazy, towards the end of the day, it doesn't get put off. I have that little bit of movement. So that is really what I do in the morning that works for me. And I do that so I am not rushed. Okay. So if you're rushing from one thing to the next and from your home to your work or like whatever, and if that is your normal, something about your routine is not working. Okay. Now, occasionally that's going to happen. Maybe, you're getting ready and the dog pukes and you've got to, take care of that or whatever, or a kid gets sick or something, whatever it is. Occasionally, yes, that will happen. Life will happen, but your every day, you're most of the time, you're all of the time, you want to be pretty consistent and unrushed. So kind of take a step back. Like, what am I doing? Am I rushing through everything? Do I even have time to breathe in the morning? Kind of back up and reflect on that and see how you can make things unrushed. Sometimes it might just be one thing that needs to change. Sometimes it may be a few things that need to change. What worked for you last year may not be working for you this year or even like last month and this month. So keep it fluid. Make sure that you're changing it to fit your needs in the current. Okay. And I hope this was helpful for you. I hope this gave you some ideas of things you can do for your morning routine. Again, routines, the body loves routine. So as much as you can get into one as possible is going to be amazing for your most of the time or all of the time. Hope this was helpful. Please like, please share, drop me a note at the bottom of this video, and I will see you again really soon. Bye-bye.